To your point about the hidden motive, from the beginning, quiet quitting, I'm pulling back from my position and I'm not going to do more than what's asked of me. There is, in each of these, I think when there are motives and hidden moments, I guess, that feels dangerous. But we are in an uncertain economic time. Also, the number of headlines I've seen recently, is a recession coming? Are we already in a recession? I alluded to the corporate layoffs we've seen in the month of January. It is, I think, feeling precarious for people. So what is your prescription for, let's start with the employers who might feel that they need to use these sexy terms to engage with their Gen Z and millennial employees. What would you tell them, knowing the potential downsides, knowing the environment that we're in right now? What's your advice for engaging them in the way that they want to engage their employees?
I think the number one thing that you can do as a manager and a leader is to get curious. Instead of trying to come in with all the answers and prescribe, that's a very old style of management that the new generations do not respond to well. It is time to go on a listening tour, start engaging, asking employees, ask them what they think these terms mean. How do their friends use them? And then start talking about, well, what do we need to do in our team to make it be different? Do we have issues with quiet quitting? Is anybody willing to be honest with me about that? I mean, when you say it like that, and then tell me more about that. What is that about? What are we missing? What more do we need? And then when you have that conversation, the most beautiful moment happens, Maggie. You get to invite them to co-create with you the solution. And that's how we solve for employee engagement. All of this conversation about disengagement, the numbers have been historically surprisingly high around disengaged employees. They are at an all-time high currently. And that you've got to find that way to connect. And the way we connect is not in what we say. The way we connect is in conversation.
I so appreciate that, because I think there's a certain degree to which the quiet hiring and quiet firing, and I also saw the term job cuffing a few months ago or weeks ago. It's all a blur. And it feels a little bit like, that meme where it's how you do, fellow kids. That's what that feels like. And that to me creates distance. But the conversation that you just alluded to, that creates collaboration and potentially a better environment. This has been fascinating, but for final thoughts, what are you predicting that we'll see? Is there another term that's going to take the internet by storm next month or the month beyond? Are we going to move into maybe the opposite, like loud firing or loud hiring or noisy quitting?
It's interesting that you asked that question, because if I could wave my magic wand and whisper into people's ears and get them to do anything, I would say, stop being quiet about it. It's not doing yourself a service necessarily to be quiet about this. And your quietness causes you to get out of integrity to what really matters to you. I wrote a whole book about the idea of you have agency and power, and that you have the ability to create workplaces that really fulfill you when you choose to be engaged. But when you get quiet, you're stepping back, you're withholding something. I would love for us to see that shift to happen, and not loud in terms of being attacking, but loud in terms of owning our voice to say what I need, owning our voice to say what is missing for us, owning our voice to offer new things to others. I think that there are more victories that can occur when we can come together and talk out loud and find that shared purpose. It's purpose, meaning, and respect. That's all it takes to have good teamwork. Purpose, meaning, and respect. And if you can stay in those conversations and offer those things, but the pivotal one is respect. And when people get quiet, chances are it's because they're feeling disrespected. And that's a moment when you need to lean in and reach out and work to repair.
All right. So 2023, the year of maybe getting loud about all of this. Rita, thank you so much for joining us.